Well, Shemai everyone, how are you all? This is my first card making video in a very long time, and if you come to my channel for the card making videos, you may not have seen like a little announcement I made. The reason I haven't been making many YouTube videos lately is sadly I lost my mum in February and I found it really hard to get back to things. But my mum loved crafting with me and she loved my YouTube videos. She used to learn a lot, she said. So I thought I'd jump back into it, and there's no better place to start than with the new annual catalogue, which has gone live today. And I'm actually using one of the new stamp sets and stamp set bundles, which is Pansy Patch and Pansy Dies. My mum loved pansies, so when I saw this one I knew I had to have this one. And the papers are called Pansy Petals and they are absolutely gorgeous. I've nearly used all of this sheet at the moment. There's quite a few that I've made a real dent in because I have been quite busy with it. I made this one like a small Z fold card. See, I've even forgotten the name of the different folds. That's that one there. I also made this one. I think it's a pop-out front card, but I'm struggling. I think I might have got a bit wrong because mine doesn't like standing up very straight. I don't know whether it's because there's like quite a lot of weight at the top. But there's that card there, and then it goes in the envelope and looks like that. But as you can see, the gingham is lovely because they are also using the new colours. Now, you've got lots of different options. In the paper kit, you've got the pansies there, which will actually cut with the framelits. Or you can make up your own little pansies by cutting out the pattern paper. It's got the framelits then to cut these parts and you can build up your own pansy. Or, like I've done on this card here, you can stamp your own pansies. So that's a bumblebee. This is Blackberry Bliss. And I've also used Pale Papaya and Fresh Freesia. Now you might be thinking, oh, I haven't heard of those. They are the new in colours. So I shall show you those. I'm going to put this one to one side. I might do a video for that one if I can remember what I did. And that one. And so I'll show you again. This is the one we're making today. So it stands on the mantelpiece like that. I can never remember what this is called. But spookily enough, I did a video showing this fold exactly a year ago today, and this wasn't a planned video for today, so how spooky is that? So there we go. So you can write on the inside there your message on the front, so it folds up like that, and then the recipient, then when they open it, they have a bit of a surprise because it's a little bit more fancy on the inside. So I'm going to show you how I made it. I've cut my layers ready. The other thing I'm using are rectangle stitch framelits. This is one of the brand new in colours. This is called Soft Succulent. Let me show you what they are. So we've got Soft Succulent. I thought it was quite similar to Mint Macaron or Mint Macaroon, however you say it. But actually it's slightly darker. It is lovely. Pale Papaya. That's that one there. They are quite subtle colours this time. Fresh Freesia. I think that one's lovely. And the other one then is a dark green, which is still unlike all the other dark greens we've had. This is Evening Evergreen. So I can see some Christmas cards with that. The other colour I haven't got on my desk. This is probably one of my favourites. This is Polished Pink. This reminds me a little bit of Strawberry Slush from many, many years ago. But for my card today, I've used Bumblebee, Blackberry Bliss, I've used the Soft Succulent, I've also used the Fresh Freesia and the Pale Papaya. Wowzers, lucky I had my teeth in for that. So, my card base is 6x12. I've bought the 12x12 cardstock as well. Sadly, I wish they did them for every colour, but they tend to do them for the in colours, and I think you can get them as a pack of the brights. But I would like to just be able to buy a pack of one colour. Now then, this is how we're going to cut it. So we are going to line up with a 1 inch, and can you see the top of my cutter there? There it is. I'm going to cut from 5 down to 11. Okay, so I've got 1 inch up to the 1 inch mark here. Let me check again because I think I just moved it. Up to the 1 inch mark, and then I'm going from 5 to 11, and then I'm going to stop. Okay, then I'm going to bring it in this side up to the 1 inch mark again, and I'm going to go from 5 to 11 again. There we go, just push that down hard from 5 to 11. So there we are. So as you can see, that section now has been cut. Put your cutting blade to one side. The number of times I've made that mistake. And then with the cut side furthest away from you, you're going to score at 4. That's going to be your card front there. So you're going to score at 4. Like that. Then you're going to score at 5. You're just going to score between the 2 cut marks, okay? So carry your score blade over, and you just go in between the 2 cut marks. So it's going to look like that. Can you see that? So there's nothing down here. The next one is 6.5, and once again you just go in between the cut marks. 6.5. Now I do find the scoring board does a much deeper score, but I find it's easier to control sometimes on the trimmer. Then we're moving down to 8. Now for 8, that's going all the way down, okay? So you're going right across the card again for that one. Then we're going to 9.5. And once again, you go in between the 2 cut marks. 9.5. Then down to 11. Okay. So that's going to be the end of the cut line then. Right, and that's all the cutting done, because I have actually pre-cut my papers because ain't no one got time to watch me do all that. There we go. So I always do myself a template because I instantly forget what I've done. So I always make myself a template, write all over it. It does take me a little bit of time to think what was I trying to say, but at least then it's not starting from scratch. So I'm going to turn my card over. I'm going to decorate it before I fold it. And I find I did have these papers to start with. I cut it at 3 3/4 and 5 3/4, but that gives me too much of a margin. So you're probably looking at 3 7/8 and 5 7/8. Obviously I'm working in inches here. I am just absolutely pants converting one to the other. So I've actually given myself a little white border because, as I say, my paper was a bit had too much of a gap around it. The back is very nice as well, but I love this gingham. So this is going to be the front panel of the card. That's going to be the part of the card that the recipient sees as soon as they open it. And then there'll be the surprise inside. There we go. I'm just going to stick that down then. It'll be like when you get to the middle of Lidl, isn't it? And you see all those surprises in the middle. All those things you didn't know you needed. There we go. Just lining that up. Okay, so I'm just going to stick the front piece of paper on. Now, this is where we're going to write on. So, this piece here I have got a slightly bigger border around that one. I think I did do that one at 3 3/4 and 5 3/4. And if you're happy with quite a big border, then you go for it. I'm going to stamp on the inside this sentiment which says, wishing you a little extra happiness just because you're you, which I think is lovely. And I'm going to use soft succulent. I'm going to carefully just dab it on. Now then, I am going to bring this forward just for my photopolymer stamps. It's just a stamping mat to give you a little bit more extra cushioning. Let me tell you, my body doesn't need any extra cushioning at the moment. Lockdown hasn't been kind to any of us, I don't think. Well, I don't know, you might be in the best shape you've ever been in, but let me tell you, I haven't. I am doing lots of walking because my mum had a little dog who's now come to live with us. And she is worshipped and adored, let me tell you. And me and her are doing about 4 miles a day. So the dog has lost weight, but I don't seem to have yet. So I'm just going to carefully put a little bit of the gingham paper then that I actually had as an offcut. Now that is the good thing about liquid adhesive, because I wasn't quite straight there. I still don't think I'm straight. That's with my glasses on. Let me just throw that to one side and see if I can shift it down slightly. I'm just going to trim the end of this off now because it's a little bit gluey. I'm going to use my old scissors, not my best snips. There we go. So I'm just going to turn to make sure I'm putting this in the right place, because let me tell you, I've made that mistake as well so many times. Actually, I had a dream the other day. I made a card and it was the wrong way around. I hope it's not a premonition for today's video. There we go. So now I'm going to decorate the sides. I've got the gingham then, which is going down here. And once again, I've got a little bit too much of a border for my liking. So this should be 5 3/4 by 3/4. But if you like a little bit less margin, then you might want to add a little smidgen on. So I'm just going to put that one there. Like that. I do like this is one of my favourite greens now. I do like Just Jade, but I love this one. It's like a bit of a grey green, this one, like a sage green. There we go. Just going to bring that one there. Then I've got these lovely, lovely, lovely little pieces here. I did cut that's it. I was going to say, I cut these thinking, right, that they'll run sort of continuously, and then I mix them up. I love these little tiny pansy pictures. I think pansies always always make me smile. They look like little angry men there, actually. Or perhaps that's just my mind. Oh, I'm just going to pull that down there. So I have got all the measurements on my template. So what I'll do at the end of the video, I will leave it on your screen. There we go. I think I had the original instructions from Susan Lavassa, who is has Wow Nola Creations on YouTube and on Facebook. I think she's from Louisiana. She's got a lovely accent. There we go. Sticking that part there. And then you can either keep this one panel all the same pieces, or you can mix and match your patterns. I'm going to mix mine. I've actually got the front and back of each piece of paper. And then we'll do the fun part, which is the folding bit, which does take a little bit of patience. I'm going to put the yellow pansy paper then showing up. I think this is one of my favourite pattern papers in the new catalogue. The other lovely one I also pre-ordered was the hand pen suite. Those papers are lovely too, but I think these have got the edge for me. These might have to be a second pack of paper. I don't say that about all papers, because there's also papers in there you could use for a more masculine card. There we go. Right, so that's the inside done. Then I'm going to do the card front, and I've used the stitch rectangles here, and I'm going to put my little greeting, and once again I'm going to use soft succulent, and I'm just going to say happy birthday because I do need some birthday cards. I'm sure my camera is a little bit wonky today. I think my holder has been sliding around. There we go. Happy birthday there. And as I say, I've used Blackberry Bliss, so I'm going to put 2 of those like that. I'm going to put them on with foam pads. I was looking at somebody's garden today, the pansies growing, because my garden's a bit of a concrete jungle at the moment. Well, in the new house that we're building, it's a little bit of a mud jungle. I am looking forward to doing a little bit of growing. I'd like to grow my own fruit and veg. Well, mainly veg. There we are. Just put those on there. Then I'm just going to put one of the little fresh freesia ones up in the corner and put some leaves on. And the leaves, just as the pansies, you can either, using the dies, you can cut the 2 colours, or you can stamp the 2 colours. And what I did for my pansies is I stamped off for the base layer, and then use the full strength of the ink then for the top layer. I do find my Blackberry Bliss is very, very juicy still, even though it's quite an old ink pad now, still quite juicy. So I had to stamp down quite hard to get rid of some of the ink to start with. Just going to put the leaves on. And there's 2 different size leaves. And then, oh, look at that. Look what I've done now. Oh, somebody's obviously arrived in the street that they wanted everyone to know about. It must be a travelling disco or something, listening to the music. Okay, so now I've had to add glue to that now rather than double-sided, because very daftly I decorated it ready. There we go. Now, before I stick that on, I'm going to show you how to fold it. So the first one is actually a valley fold. So you're folding the front over like that. Let me move those out the way. They'll be knocking those flying. Okay, then this one here is a mountain fold. Now obviously is only the middle section you're folding. So this is where it does get a little bit tricky. Like that. So can you see we've got mountain, valley. This one's going to be a mountain. Like that. This one's going to be a valley. Once you get them folded the way you want, the way they should be, then it makes it a little bit easier. And then that one there, just this panel here, not the end bit, if that makes sense. There we go. So that's how it's going to go on their mantelpiece. It's a bit easier then. Once you've got them folded in the right place, then you can then sort of crispen up your folds like that. There we go. Now, when you decorate these panels, make sure, if you're going to put one down here, only stick it to the bottom part, because if you stuck it there as well, your panel isn't going to move back on itself. So I'm going to stick that down, and I'm not going to add any dimension in the middle, but can you see I'm just adding glue to the bottom part of my flower. I'm going to put one there. I'm going to put one up in the top corner, and I'm actually using my bumblebee here. Just thinking, hang on, I'm going to wipe that off and make a real mess of myself because I want them facing the same way. I desperately need some new baby wipes because I'm nearly all out. Right, so I'll try that again. I'm going to put it where the double petals are down the bottom. So that one's going up there, like that. Got some leaves then. And once again, I'm just sticking them to the one part of the panel. And then that one at the top. It has been really nice actually to get back to making some YouTube videos to give me something else to focus on. I'm going to add my papaya one now. Just one up there. And I'm going to add another one down here. I'm trying to think where I put. Working against myself there. And put some petals there as well. Now you could have sentiments in the middle as well. There's lots of different things you can do. I'll put a link to the video I did last year. And because I showed quite a selection of cards I made. Then it's time to put this one on the front. So once again, I am going to use some liquid glue because I don't want to get to this stage and then be a bit heavy-handed with my tape gun and stick it all wonky-fied. There we go. Just going to put that there. Press down hard. And there we are. That's finished. So, as I say, your recipient will open the envelope and it'll look like that. And then they have a surprise in the middle and it stands on the mantelpiece like that. So, thank you so much for joining me. It's been lovely of you. Thank you for not giving up on me when you haven't seen anything from me for such a long time. I'm saying that this video might only have 2 views or something because everyone's run for the hills. But take care everyone, and I'm hoping to be back very soon with my next video. Hwyl fawr ffrindiau. Bye!